and tell them.
Yeah.
Shine a light into this space. So that I can see your face.
Well, anyways, we have to do one thing here, one technical thing. I know that we're live on other places. Did you sync yours up to Instagram?
I did.
Okay, so I have to redo that since so just one thing here, because that way, and that way it'll show live on here. Okay. And this is mine, that's yours. You are live.
Okay. Are we live?
Yeah, should be.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. We are here to share a little bit about our retreat, Fall into Grace. It's this September 25th through 27th in Depot Bay, which has become one of my favorite little beach towns on the Oregon coast. And it's under the harvest moon. So it's going to be this really magical, intentional weekend that we're just really excited to share with you. So today, what we're wanting to do is just give you a little background about who we are, what we do, what our intentions for this retreat is. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to contribute to this conversation, please add it into the comments. And we'd love to make sure you have all the answers you might need for this retreat. So I'll pass this on to Jaya, kind of the matriarch of the three of us, so she can introduce herself and share what her offering is.
Well, good morning, everybody, or good evening, wherever you are. So honored and excited to be here with you to share with you about our retreat, Fall into Grace. So the meaning of grace for me has just been sort of, I'd like to call it the river of grace. It's just been woven throughout my life where I've had some challenges and then somehow grace shows up and takes me down the river of solutions and healing. And so I'm going to be offering basically how to access the heart space, how to go into your heart with your inner eye, drop into the heart and experience something what I would call as your sacred presence, the part of you that has been witnessing your life, full of joy, full of possibly even tears and grief. And it's a time to just sort of let go of the accumulation content of the heart and find out what's there when you're emptied out and you're experiencing yourself just as you are. So that's what I'll be offering with many work around that, healing techniques, and I would say soul retrieval techniques. And I'm not sure, but I think that might be all I have for time right now. Anyways, welcome. I can't wait to see you.
Great. And my name's Andrea, if you don't know me yet. I'm a Jungian life coach and a breathwork facilitator. So what my passion is to bring in this really beautiful blend of Eastern spirituality. So like really yummy guided meditations, opportunities to connect in with your highest self, and breath work. I bring in this conscious connected breath that helps you kind of get out of that thinking mind and move into other areas of your body, move into the heart space. It's amazing how much we store in our bodies. And so this conscious connected breath really helps us connect to both the conscious material as well as unconscious material, things that we're not even aware that we're holding. And so it's this really yummy space where you get to just explore that inner landscape. So for some people, what this looks like is accessing grief and trauma and stress and learning how to alchemize that and transcend that into something that can maybe feel a little more graceful. Other people experience this work as a way of connecting to their highest self. So, really tuning in to that high vibration. So that's my ceremony that I will be holding for you. And then Arielle has some really wonderful things to share.
Hi, we're sharing a camera. We had some issues with our two computers, so we're on one computer. My name's Arielle, and I'm very excited to be offering somatic movement and different ways to move our body and clear energy. So when a lot of times in our life and through stresses and what we do on a daily basis, we get very much locked into a mental state, a mental way of being that's about accomplishing and effort, and all of that's wonderful and beautiful. But we can lose sight of that deep connection to our body. And I like to think of it the way a child naturally explores movement. We even as adults tend to treat movement as something that is to be accomplished, something that you're going to receive something from, that you have to get your 30 minutes of movement in every day. But the kind of movement that I'm going to be guiding is more exploratory, and it's more discovery based. It has all a wide range of benefits, but one of the most powerful ones is the empowerment to listen to your own body's wisdom. And some of it's playful, some of it's slow, some of it's fast. Some of the movement will be optional for you to attend in the morning, and then there'll be like little tiny blips integrated throughout the day. And I work a lot with the nervous system. I work a lot with qigong elements, and yeah, that's probably about all I want to share right now. I'm happy to answer questions though, but yeah, so somatic movement and yoga-ish type of movement, but not traditional yoga. I'd say it that way. So I hope you come. It's going to be a beautiful weekend here on the Oregon coast, and a very special time.
Yeah, and then there's something else that I want to add, because the three of us together are collaborating on our opening ceremony. And that's just an opportunity for us all to come together and introduce ourselves and share what our intentions are for the weekend. In every retreat we've hosted, you notice this thread between the individuals that choose to show up for that retreat. And sure, the three of us might be the facilitators or the guides, but it's so beautiful when we can sit back and just witness this opportunity for other people to connect in the circle. So that opening circle is just an introduction to really settle into the space and to feel welcome and at home in that circle before we start getting into the nitty-gritty of that deep soul work. We're also collaborating on a harvest moon ceremony, which will be illuminated throughout the entire weekend. I think peak illumination is around 9:47 in the morning on Saturday, but we're going to have a really special ceremony around that. We have some really fun art projects we'll be doing on Sunday, just to kind of continue the work and get playful and get creative and tune into that creative side of who we are. And then, of course, the three of us will be closing the container with the group and making sure that everything just feels complete and that everything feels at ease, like at grace. And of course, we'll offer other integration practices. So when you go back into the world and integrate back into your day-to-day life, you can hold the energy of the weekend with you. So there will be some really fun collaborative efforts among all of us as well.
Yeah, we also are having, we're going to be incorporating a sound bath, and I don't remember if it's on one of the days, but there will be time to experience sound healing. And that's a very restorative healing time together. There was something else I can't remember.
Well, I'd
But
like to add.
while we're talking, I'll just add in so you guys can see this harvest moon schedule here. If I can make it work. Oh, that's the problem. I'm doing the wrong thing. Sorry, hold on. Let's see here. And then we can show you. Oh, you're going on? There we go. Okay. Maybe when we talk, it goes away. I think it should stay now because some people had some questions about the flow of the weekend. And so you can tune in. This is the general outline. We might shift some things around, but so we do have our opening ceremony on Friday. We have a full moon ceremony and sound bath on Friday as well. And then we have the harvest moon illumination and embodied movement, body bliss activation by Jaya and soul rejuvenation. The breath work will be in the afternoon on Saturday. And throughout this, that was the one thing I wanted to mention is that we allowed for space on all the days for nature immersion. And we're either going to guide you through that. We'll probably walk together for those who want to join us. And that may include walking down to the beach. It kind of is weather dependent. So we're going to see where we go with it. But where we're located at the Depot Bay Hall is in this beautiful nature setting. And there's trails directly from there to there's, what is the name of the trail?
Glen Beach.
Well, the Depot Bay Trail, there's a trail that goes all the way up into the woods there. And so we might choose that or choose the beach option. We're not sure exactly which one. And then I'll just continue on so we can read this together. We have the optional yoga and free movement on Sunday. This is the art project, and on Sunday, the harvest lunch, and then another nature immersion, and then our alchemy of return closing ceremony. So that kind of gives you an outline of the weekend, and we have 4 beautiful meals provided by Helen, and those will be locally sourced and seasonal, and she's absolutely fantastic. And we were going to post some pictures of the last beautiful celebratory lunch we had for our equinox retreat, which was gorgeous and delicious and vegetarian and so nourishing. So
her meals are incredible. People always rave about her presentation and just the flavor. And she's so good about accommodating all dietary restrictions and needs and desires. And I'm always in awe by her artistry. So that's something really special we're glad to be bringing in this weekend as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we were also going to go around and just kind of share what falling into grace means to us. I think the word grace has so much energy behind it. And for me, what really comes alive is, grace is compassion. It's understanding. It's ease. And there are opportunities in our day-to-day lives where we can choose to fall into grace or maybe choose a different direction. And the way that I think about it playing out is you think about when you're driving in your car and someone cuts you off, and you can choose like, oh, am I going to choose anger and frustration, or can I fall into grace? Like, can I offer a little bit of understanding for this person who cut me off in traffic? And maybe in a deeper sense, like maybe somebody hurt you. Maybe something has happened in your life where you felt deeply wounded. And can you give yourself a little grace for those emotions, that vulnerability that comes with having your feelings hurt? And can you maybe offer a little compassion or ease or understanding to the person or the experience or situation that created that pain? I think for me personally, so much of my personal growth work is remembering that I don't have to be so tough all the time. Like, I feel sometimes where I just have to be strong and I have to be the force that everybody can come to in times of need. And I like to be the holder of the container and all of that, all of it. But I too feel pain and anger and frustration and sadness and vulnerability. And there's this old conditioning, there's this old idea that I have to push through or rise above or stay strong. But I've I've come to realize that when I can give myself a little grace, when I can give myself a little bit of understanding that what I'm feeling is valid and that it's okay to be a little vulnerable every once in a while. It's okay to not always be this tough force. That's where the alchemy really happens. Like, that's where things just soften, where I can actually do the work instead of living in this really restricted, conditioned mindset. So, for me, that's much of my work for falling into grace. But I think there's so many different directions for what it can mean to each individual. So, Ari, what does it mean for you?
I was thinking about this, and it reminded me of how we met you. And so it was right before Jaya's birthday,
Mhm.
and we were at Luminous, and we were, I don't know, we were having a meeting about something.
About what to do for my birthday.
Yeah, and then you call randomly
Right then.
and you were interested in space or something, I think holding some things on the coast.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, in the back of our head, we were already wanting to hold a retreat. We've held some day retreats, but we haven't held a longer retreat yet. Or we didn't hold a retreat with you until the equinox. But then we looked at your website, or you were mentioning that you were holding something. We looked at it. It was like 4 days later or something.
Yeah.
And then we jumped in, and it was the most incredible experience. It was
Best
in
birthday
bulk.
ever.
It was her birthday. Her actual birthday was the day retreat. And then we got connected, and then we magically were able to create a beautiful equinox retreat. And now we're on to a fall harvest moon retreat. To me, that whole thing is what grace is. And when you allow life to happen, it's like that saying, when you take one step towards God or towards source, whatever word you want to use, you take one step towards that, and it takes 3 or 10 steps towards you. And I think when you find your alignment, and you work with aligning yourself, which things like retreats and breath work and movement and opening your heart and all of that can help you to stay in that vortex or that alignment. And then you're ready for the signals that come in from all different angles. And it's not that they're always beautiful and positive and uplifting signals. Sometimes they're hard, and sometimes they're things that are challenging. But even that it's all grace, and it creates this magical, just this magical offering in your life for you to step into. And it really requires, though, I think, a lot of receptivity. And I think this is where this kind of work comes in, to allow yourself to drop into that receptive place of being where you're open. So that was my feeling about grace, and how it's continuing on into this work and this weekend.
Well, I'll just add one more thing. Grace, if we take a moment and we look back at our life, most likely we'll see a flow of grace that has shown up throughout our life. And that's how I began my journey with grace. Is I learned that even though there were some really hardships in my life, if I was to take a moment and just step back and hold the energy of grace, pray, and see what happens, normally or always grace would show up with a solution or with a healing, or teach me what was the seed lesson that needed to be learned for going down a certain path, that maybe a hard lesson. So grace is actually like a hard taskmaster in one way, but a loving, loving divine force in another.
And then we also want to speak on why we chose the Harvest Moon weekend, and kind of what our intentions are with the retreat. So, Arielle, do you want to start this conversation?
Sure. I've always found it really important and can kind of shake you out of your daily to-dos and all of that. When you come together with other people with an intention around something that deeply connects to nature. So in this case, it would be around the fall equinox. It's the harvest moon. And I just think it's so important in our life, and it's things that we, as historically, we used to do a lot more, and we kind of have taken our way away from that to more of the Hallmark kind of traditions and stuff. But these to me are so rewarding because you're there not only, you know, under the light of the harvest moon and all of that energetic component, but then you bring an intention, and that specific group brings an intention with very often there's a similar theme throughout the group, and you're working with the beautiful energetic components of what's going on in nature and how we are also nature and connect to that and respond to that. And that's why I wanted to pick this weekend, is because it's a powerful weekend, and it's just a wonderful way to get together with other people and invite in some transformation and invite in some beingness and healing and laughter and that kind of those kinds of elements. So I guess I would say is it Jay? Should it be Jaya, or I can't remember who now?
Yeah, let's have Jaya. I'd love to hear from Jaya.
Yeah. So the harvest moon is, of course, we know that everything comes in cycles, all the seasons. So we look at the harvest moon, we look at fall, and we know that it's time to flow with nature, start letting go, start receiving the vitality of a fresh new beginning. It's a turning inward time as well. So the harvest moon kind of is a prompting. It's just one of those beautiful universal experiences that the world experiences. But it's just definitely an invitation to turn inward and tap what needs to be harvested, is a good word. What needs to be nurtured in the next upcoming season. So we're going into more of a darkness, and now it's time to kind of settle in. And the darkness to me is settling into the deep space of the heart, which is sort of an empty invitation it's full of intelligence, but it's an emptiness that we can actually experience through grace and through this time. It's also an integration time. So we know that throughout the seasons, there's been a lot of summer outgo and spring, and it's a time to integrate all these experiences and prepare for what is the gifts, what is sprouting now, what will be sprouting. So I think that's my sharing about the harvest moon and grace.
Yeah. Well, I think I could echo pretty much everything that Ari and Jaya just shared, but Traditionally the harvest moon has always had this energy of abundance. It's harvesting the crops. And now we're in this place of like where we get to reap what we sow. Like it shines a light on all the growth that has happened in the previous season. And now we get to recognize and enjoy, like really relish like the direct results of that growth. And with that, I think they both spoke on this. We have this opportunity to shift our focus. So instead of this outward growth, we're moving more inward, and that internal growth is beginning to percolate, and we're kind of moving more into this place of hibernation. And something else I think of with any moon, or especially full moon, is the shadows that it can cast. And I think sometimes the shadow gets a really bad rap. It's like, oh, this is bad. I need to push this away. This is a part of myself that I want to reject. But Carl Jung speaks extensively on the shadow and the importance of its integration in our day-to-day lives. There was a point in our life where we said, "Oh, this part of myself doesn't show up well in public, so I'm going to push it away." But what would be possible if we began integrating that part of ourselves and we were actually able to live fully? I think the word authentic gets thrown around a lot in the spiritual world, so I hesitate to use that. But how can we fully arrive authentically and with agency? And we do that by integrating these shadow elements. And so I think we're going to be able to play with that a little bit over our weekend together, and maybe even in the art project a little bit. We'll see how that unfolds. But I just think the harvest moon has this really potent energy. So the retreat setting itself is just such a sacred container for exploration. And then you add the energy of the Pacific Ocean and the harvest moon. I just think it's going to be super magical. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted just to kind of touch base on that. When you create a safe container for you to bring your whole self, including parts of yourself that maybe you do hide, maybe you're not quote unquote proud of, all of that kind of stuff. So parts of yourself that are maybe been damaged, that are hurt, and you create a container for people to feel safe with their whole self and calling back in their shadow self and say, it's okay, we're okay here. Then you really, if you can transcend that and move through that with this beautiful community of people who show up, and then it becomes an empowering part of you, and it becomes a part of you that you never realized you could transform. And that is so empowering, and it's how we become more whole spiritual beings, having this human experience on this planet. And then Jaya talks about it as just calling back those lost parts of yourself, and you're calling them back and calling them back. And sometimes we don't feel safe to do that in our everyday life. And I wanted just to make that clear, that this is a very safe container that we're creating for the weekend, that stays within the group, and we open it very sacredly. We hold it throughout the weekend. We close it very sacredly. So that way we have a place to be and to expand in our whole being.
And I'd like to just dovetail into what she's just shared, because I always view the lost parts or the shadow self as possibly, if we reframed it, as being our own inner child. It's the part of us that perhaps got stuck down there due to any kind of trauma or anything. And so it's like inviting that childlike energy back to our wholeness. And it's actually a journey through the heart, which I'll be offering during the retreat, where the heart actually can settle, I would say, heal whatever those disconnected parts are, through the new identity that's just an inner child that needs to be called home.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Sorry, we're having trouble being in the same. So should we open it now to questions? And I want to say I'm sorry that I know that us in the same screen and then the lighting is kind of funny. So I'm sorry about that. But hopefully you can hear the message of what we're saying. This is our first time doing a live stream. So we had a little bit of a learning.
We're still learning.
We're
still
children
learning and growing.
Yeah. Should we open it to questions now? Or
yeah, I think so.
And then for whoever would like to stay after the questions, Jay is going to be leading us through a sample of a meditation, correct? Yes. Okay, meditation. So just want to make sure you know that so we can have it'll probably be more of a brief meditation, but yeah. So we are also learning how to take questions. So let's see if you have questions. I think
you should be able to. Is there just a comment space?
Yeah, you could just comment. And if any one of you doesn't really have a question, but could you just post something to see if we can actually read it?
You could post it too.
Oh, I could do it. I can do it. Let's see.
Can anybody speak up that you're there with us?
I don't think they can. Oh. It's not, they can only ask questions. So let's see if I can ask a question here. Let's see.
Here's Stacy. Hi.
Oh, we've got it. Hi.
Lucinda. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so they can come
Christina.
through.
Hi.
Yay. Thank you so much.
We can see that. Okay.
Yay. So Christina, the retreat is not at the hotel. It's at the community center, but I believe the two of you might know more than me. It's in the same parking lot. So we have a discount code for the SCP hotel, which is pretty much adjacent to where the retreat is being held.
Yes. And for information about the retreat, the hotels and accommodations, we do have several on our website, both on luminoussoulcenter.com under retreat. There's an FAQ section that has accommodations, and then Andrea has on her website. But we're welcome. We can just talk about the different, maybe a few options right now.
Let me explain that the Depot Bay SCP hotel, which is part of Salishan, is owned by Salishan, is within walking distance to the retreat venue. And that would be lovely if by chance that worked out for you. Otherwise, we have other listings on the website.
Yeah, if SCP is beautiful and it's very close and it's kind of this modern kind of wellness little boutique hotel, and there's a discount code, so it's a wonderful place to stay in Depot Bay. And then there's also other options in case you wanted other options, which you can ask now or ask later.
So, gosh, Stacy, hi.
Hi, Stacy. Hi, Lucinda. Hi, Christina. Hi, David. Hi, Mary. Hi, Christina again. Okay. And we were trying to be live on or jump it on Instagram. I'm not sure if it's working or not. Instagram's a whole other thing. But anyways, does anyone have any other? Oh, are the other options in walking distance? Let me look at
not
what we
really. Because I know the area too really well. I can just answer that. The SCP hotel would be the closest. There are a couple small boutique hotels in Depot Bay that you can walk. Otherwise, you might have to venture out to Lincoln City or even Salishan, and you'd have to drive.
Yeah, that is if you want to just to be in one spot and not have to get in your car, I think the SCP would be the best place. And what I can do is I can email and see if there's any other options, just in case. I'll email you directly, whoever's interested in other accommodations right in Depot Bay. I can see if I can come up with some other ones too, just in case SCP doesn't work.
Yeah, and I think on the website I'm seeing Bella Beach Vacation Rentals, Esther Lee Oceanfront Resort, and then of course there's always Airbnb and VRBOs as other great options too.
Yeah. And then as far as food for the weekend, there will be 4 very generous meals that we have together. So I believe there's a lunch, and then there's a dinner, and then there's a lunch and a dinner, and then another lunch. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Friday dinner, Saturday lunch and dinner,
Yeah.
Sunday lunch. And that way you can have a slower morning and check out some of the cool little breakfast spots in town. There's some really yummy places to go. So, yeah.
And
we also have a very healthy snack bar available.
Yeah,
we provide a spread of, so nobody blood sugars.
And before you come, we ask you about any preferences or sensitivities, and we make sure that there's plenty for everyone, and there's tea and all that other wonderful nourishing things.
So
Yeah.
Christina, I'm sorry. It looks like you're coming, and that's so exciting. We'll all get together to help you find, if you don't want the SCP hotel, will help. I'm sure.
Well, and I see you're also asking about a shuttle. Is there a shuttle that would go from Portland to Depot Bay?
Yes.
There's a shuttle that goes 100% from Portland to Chester's Market right here. And then one of us, we live right here. We'd be happy to pick you up and take you over to the hotel.
An interesting thing, I think we've not really explored this, but there is a train from Portland to Newport, and we could also pick you up there.
Yeah, if anyone needs help like that, we are happy to do that. Jay and I live here, so we can work it out and figure out how we can help you, so you have a healing weekend that doesn't feel stressful thinking about all that.
And David, your question about us being pet friendly, we might have to have a conversation about that. Something that I will say is I have 2 dogs. I love them very much. I'm not sure I would necessarily want an animal there during the breathwork session and maybe during some of the meditations, just because we're two parts. One, dogs and animals are so cute and so distracting, and so we wouldn't want them to disrupt anybody else in the circle who might be in a process. But even for you, this weekend could very much be an opportunity for you to really just tend to yourself versus having to tend to your animal. There are many dog-friendly hotels in Depot Bay. I've brought in my dogs out there several times now. So you certainly have pet-friendly accommodations. But I hesitate a little bit about having pets in the actual circle space, just so everyone can really be in their process, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
do either of you have anything?
I agree with that. We'd have to, if it was like an emotional support animal, we'd have to kind of discuss that and see how we can accommodate that. But yeah. Right.
Yeah, so just reach out to us. You have our emails. Let us see what we can do to help you be here with your pet. But, he could be babysat, pet set.
Yeah, we could probably find a pet sitter.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions right now? Or is there anything that we want to cover? Because this will also be recorded, and we can put it places for information. Anything else we want to discuss before we?
Yeah, I think we didn't really share a lot about music, but the entire retreat has beautiful selections for healing music and maybe some dancing music. And of course, with the tuning and the crystal bowls will be really, I would say, inspiring you with having those healing frequencies offered during those times as well.
our goal for working together is to really make it a multidimensional interactive experience. And so each one of our approaches is very complementary, but it's also very unique and different, each one. And so we also are highly aware of the amount of time we use for sitting, for using the body, for lying, or we can also accommodate being in a chair if you need to. But we're aware of that element. I've been to retreats where there's a lot of sitting and your body doesn't feel too good when you leave, or retreats where there's just so much moving and I'm exhausted. So we try to really be aware of that and balance the whole weekend so you have time and it's a nourishing, not rushed experience. And that's when you can really kind of drop into some really amazing and beautiful opening energy together and each other. Yeah. Well,
if there's no more questions, I think Jaya was feeling inspired to maybe lead some people through a guided meditation of sorts. So if you want to stick around for that, she's incredible. I'll probably turn my camera off so I can just fully indulge myself. And then also reach out to us, send us messages through social media platforms, email us. Like, we are so happy to answer any questions and help in whatever way we can to make your experience supported and comfortable and really wonderful. So,
any other questions? We're just double checking. We don't want to. No questions. Okay. So let's begin by taking some deep breaths. And everybody's looking for their life purpose. I'm just sharing with you that I have discovered that my life purpose is to help people journey into the sacred space of the heart, the beautiful, I would say, portal where your soul can rejuvenate, where you can actually find answers to any of your questions. And really, it's just the most magical portal and sphere of energy. The heart is, I would say, the most powerful energy to learn about and to work with. So we're going to take a minute or two and just breathe in. And I'd like you to breathe in through your nose and start directing your attention up to, I would call it, the soul light energy above your head. This is a part of your being that's very sacred, but very, I would say, not very much paid attention to, because it holds all the information for your soul. So it is the 8th chakra, soul light chakra, the realm of the Akashic records. So anytime you ever need any questions answered, just practice bringing your attention up to that part of your being and visualize a star up on the top of your head. It's the light of your soul. So we'll do this in a brief way. We're going to take our inner eye and we're going to put it up to this soul light energy. Breathing in and letting the body just feel that light and relaxing and letting go of the tension and the physicality and identifications. And just see this light as really your essence. So we're going to direct the inner eye now, and we'll have it go down through the skull, through the heart. And the eye of light is looking from the inside out to, it's going to look at the throat and help you release any tension in the throat, any tension in the shoulders. It's an energy soul scan. And then we take that same eye and we're going down. We're going to follow what I call the core light channel, or the Sushumna. Follow the inner eye along the spine. Visualize this tube of light. And bring the light down into your heart now. Your heart is the wellspring of your life. It's the home of your wish fulfilling tree. It is the place within you where you can turn into and sit as if you're sitting right at the tree of life. You're sitting at the place in you where you're manifesting your life. You're creating your life how you see it. So it's also the realm of where your guidance is. So we'll bring our energy into the heart and just take a few deep breaths here, holding the heart as if it's your sacred sanctuary, your own sacred place that you can go to. Now, so much of us carry hurts and all of that in our heart. But the heart can rejuvenate as it returns to the inner child of your natural being. So this is your innocence. So you want to just take a moment and just let go. Just say, I let go of accumulated memories, or I let go of sorrow, stress, pain, anything you want to let go of here. The interesting thing about the heart is that it has a sacred guidance built into it. It's your GPS. So the sacred guidance that's built in here, anything you ask for, anything you want to manifest, will be carried by this guidance. And of course, it's always in alignment with your very highest good. So breathing in, this Anaconda lotus within the heart is the sacred space. It's talked about in all the ancient teachings, and it continues to blossom through your soul's journey. Now we're going to drop down into our solar plexus with that inner eye, go down there, and you can start to feel. And we don't want to reactivate thought and emotions, but this is where you hold a lot of tension from thought, a lot of emotional responses from thought. So it's a wellspring of, I would like to call it the personal self. So here, bring that heart, the light of the heart, the light of the soul star into solar plexus, and start breathing and letting go of those patterns of thought that may be taking you away from the natural peace. I would say the natural joy of your inner child. And we're dropping down now to the navel center, which is the source energy of your chi. This is where your inner child lives again, the home of your self-love. So here again, I do a lot of work with affirmations, but this is a place where you just want to hold very carefully and just say, what is my chi doing now? And ask yourself questions. How's my energy? Am I overdoing it? Am I depleted? And this is where Qigong and all kinds of movement come in to restore the depleted energy of the system. We'll do a lot more of this during our time together. Now we're going to bring our energy down to the very root. And I call this the launching pad of your system, of your energy field, even the launching pad of your soul. So this root is connected to soul star. Your soul star is connected above your head. So you have to start visualizing there's one channel of light flowing down, flowing back up, kind of creating a strong circuit of well-being, a strong circuit of light, clearing your energy so you can move forward in your potential. The root is the home of all of our pain and sorrow and patterns of thought and ancestral patterns. So here we really need to spend a lot of clearing time, and we'll be doing more of this. We want to let go of everything in the root that's interfering from our strong foundation. It's actually a place of being the spiritual warrior. So here we create a foundation of the golden brick road. I like to visualize this beautiful brick as if we're walking down a yellow brick road, and we're just creating that strong foundation to walk on. And we're going to now take that inner eye, dropping it all the way down through the root, through Earth Star, down the feet and into Earth Star. So really your circle of light breathing now. Now breathe the energy up from the feet, up into the torso, up the root, up through the centers, pausing at the heart. And pausing at the heart might mean just namaste. so grateful for this journey and for the what opportunities and the potential the soul, all of our soul's journeys have. It's also very important to say, I love you. I love you, and you love yourself. You give yourself a heart hug here. I love you. I love you for all the things you've done, all the things you've experienced. I love every aspect of you. And I'm so honored to integrate everything you've experienced. And I'm talking about you saying this to yourself. Integrate, love it, let it go when it's needed, and have it become a part of your amazing potential as you move your energy back up to your star. The star is actually your signature essence. And each point of the star represents these beautiful qualities of you. Namaste.
Thank you, Jaya. That was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Short but sweet.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, thank you for everybody who hung out with us this afternoon. Again, reach out with any questions, comments, anything you might need at all. We love you, and we can't wait to be under the harvest moon with you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
look forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.
Shine a light into this space. So that I can see your face.